The Siege of Leningrad is one of the darkest chapters in modern history. Over 900 days of starvation and suffering gripped the city during World War II, leading to desperate acts of survival. Today, we delve into the story of Viktor Putin, the brother of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who perished during this harrowing period. We'll explore the extreme conditions, the fate of Putin's brother, and the dark realities of life under siege. The Siege of Leningrad began in September 1941 and lasted until January 1944. Cut off from supplies, the citizens endured one of the worst sieges in human history. Starvation became the enemy, and the line between life and death blurred. Cannibalism was a tragic reality during the Siege of Leningrad. The siege, which lasted from September 1941 to January 1944, resulted in severe food shortages that left the population with little to no sustenance. Rations were drastically reduced, and bread became a mixture of sawdust and flour. Starvation claimed the lives of an estimated 1 million people. As desperation grew, some people resorted to eating anything they could find: leather belts, glue, rats, and eventually human flesh. The Soviet secret police documented hundreds of cases of cannibalism, and two categories were established: 1. Necrophagy, consuming the flesh of those who had already died from starvation or other causes. 2. Homicidal cannibalism, killing individuals for the purpose of eating them. To control the growing number of cases, authorities established severe punishments, often including execution or long-term imprisonment, for those caught engaging in cannibalism. Despite the horrifying circumstances, the majority of Leningrad's residents endured the siege with great resilience. The acts of cannibalism were seen as a tragic testament to the extremes of human suffering rather than a widespread or condoned behavior. This dark chapter remains a painful reminder of the siege's brutality. In Philip Short's biography Putin, His Life and Times, Philip Short discusses the death of Vladimir Putin's brother, Viktor, during the Siege of Leningrad in World War II. Short presents conflicting accounts of Viktor's fate, including one where authorities took him to an orphanage against his mother's wishes, and another where two women took him away at his mother's request. However, Short finds these accounts not credible, noting that orphanages did not accept children under 3 and that, despite widespread hunger and instances of cannibalism, no parent would willingly surrender their child to strangers. While Short acknowledges the extreme conditions, he does not suggest that Viktor was a victim of cannibalism. Instead, he hints at a possible undisclosed family tragedy, mentioning that Putin only later learned his brother was buried in a mass grave at the Piskaryavskoe cemetery. Following Operation Barbarossa, June 1941, German Army Group North advanced rapidly, severing Leningrad's land connections by September 8. Finnish forces blocked northern approaches, creating a joint blockade. Hitler sought to obliterate Leningrad, avoiding direct assault to minimize casualties. The city's survival became a symbolic battleground. Rations dwindled to 125 grams of bread daily, winter 1941-42. Civilians ate wallpaper paste, leather, and faced reports of cannibalism. Temperatures plummeted to -30 degrees Celsius -22 degrees Fahrenheit, with no heating or electricity. Buildings collapsed, and disease spread. The impact is significant. The city's refusal to surrender became a propaganda triumph for the USSR, symbolizing defiance against Nazi aggression. It tied down German forces, diverting resources from other fronts and buying time for Soviet counteroffensives. The siege underscored the brutality of warfare targeting civilians, influencing modern international laws on sieges and humanitarian aid. It remains a cautionary tale of authoritarianism